Hello, St. Lucia. Hello, and welcome to the Folk Research Center, which presents to you a Reading Month edition. Pretty much, how are you? Lend me an ear. Come closer as we take you on a journey into what makes us who we are. I am Catherine Isaac. Welcome to Vini Tann Sa. Sit back, listen, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the library of the Folk Research Center. Today, I am going to read you a chapter from this book called St. Lucian Storytelling by Mr. Leonard Lawrencine. Chapter 13, Magie Noire, or Black Magic. One night, a certain man had a strange encounter with a mysterious object as he walked alone in the woods near the Dennery area. It was a moonless night and after midnight. All of a sudden, he had an eerie feeling as he got to the top of a steep hill. The hair stood still on the back of his neck while the wind ceased to blow on nearby trees. The darkness was so dense that he could hardly see the road in front of him. His heart started racing against his chest. He took short breaths while his steps involuntarily slowed down due to the weakening of his knees. As he got to the narrowest part of the unpaved country road, he suddenly saw a tall figure that looked like a human being who stood with his legs panned on either side of the road. When he looked up, he saw that the amazing tall figure had no head upon his shoulders. With a hissing sound in his breath, he instantly became thoroughly soaked in sweat. He stood in the dark. He was silent, trembling, and confused. He asked himself, what am I going to do? Going forward didn't seem to be the best choice, not knowing what was going to happen if he did. The thought of turning back was the most enticing option. As he turned to look back, the road had disappeared from his view. The only way out was for him to continue going forward on this narrow road leading to his home. The daunting challenge was for him to pass under the pair of mysterious legs that had formed an arch across the road. The narrator then said, according to a particular African belief, if a person were to pass between someone's legs, it would bring blight on their life. At that point, what seemed to have been his only option was to pass between the mystery pair of legs. On both sides of the narrow road, there were precipices and steep gorges. He was stuck in the middle of the night and could neither turn nor pass on either side. The third option was for him to wait until the morning. Afraid, confused, and bewildered, he decided to stand and wait there in front of the arch until the break of day. While he waited, the strangest things began to happen. He saw trees, shrubs, and bushes dancing to the sound of a strange music. During intervals, like every half hour, strange-looking animals appeared and disappeared as they passed by. Affecting his sense of smell was a very strong scent of a billy goat. His mind was plagued with thoughts of how he would make it back to his home alive. To him, having to deal with this mysterious encounter through such a frightening, dark night and the chilling hours of the morning were like an eternity. He whispered all the prayers he knew while his eyes remained transfixed on the strange object in front of him. He tried to remember a special prayer his father had taught him to recite when facing danger or any difficult situations. This special prayer had been handed down to his father from his ancestors, but because of his nervousness, he could hardly remember it. He struggled to revive it from his disheveled memory, but to no avail. He was able to recall only bits and pieces of it. This special prayer had other significant parts to it as well. There were a few small gestures on the right hand, oil, water, and herbs to be used in the process, and the man was short on all of those. The only good thing was he remembered a few gestures he had to do with his right hand. As he began to do the gestures, all of a sudden the prayer came back to him. Unfortunately, he had no oil, water, or herbs with him. At that critical moment, he luckily remembered what people in his community had recommended for it if any time anyone was confronted by an evil entity. It was that you should throw 3 pebbles at it with your right hand if you were left-handed, and with the left hand if you were right-handed. He was left-handed, so he decided to pick up 3 pebbles with his left hand. He frighteningly offered the prayer, took the 3 pebbles, and threw them with his right hand at the object. Immediately, the mysterious object fell backwards with a loud crashing noise. It instantly disappeared into the woods. There was a strange voice which echoed back at him and said, "I will never obstruct you again." For the rest of the man's life, this strange apparition never stood in his way again. Then the narrator gives the listeners the moral of the story. My dear children, you must never forget the prayers given to you by your ancestors. You might need them in time of trouble. This is chapter 13, Majinwe, of St. Lucian storytelling. There is more available at the library of the Folk Research Center. Feel free to come on by.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to join us for another episode of Vini Tann Sa. Visit Folk Research Center's library at Barnard Hill Castries for more. Bonne journée.